called gratitude.
Gratitude. Are we done? Jeff, we have more. We have time for questions?
Over here.
Andrew was getting nervous.
Andrew's always nervous. What does that have to do with
There's
that?
another panel.
There's another panel. Oh, I didn't. Couple of quick questions.
In my experience, with every few years, there's a new round of reissues of whatever the source is, and it seems like, generally speaking, there's higher quality. You're getting more detail. You're getting more warmth with each round. There are exceptions, but with each round of reissues, things get better, which suggests that there's lots of stuff on the tapes that isn't being, or over a period of time, hasn't been reproduced, but is getting there. I don't know if there's a limitless amount of information on the tapes, but what I'm wondering is why is it then that our playback seems to be lagging so far behind the original?
You need to talk to me. I'll spend all your money, and you'll end up with a much better sounding system, but it'll cost a lot of money.
Okay, but I'm saying, like, even on that great system, if you put on, the 1992 remaster or the 2014 remaster, chances are, in most cases, the 2014 remaster, if it's coming from the original source.
Tell that to Tom Port.
Not everybody agrees with that. I think it goes both ways. But
I think
but as we said, the equipment they're using to cut these lacquers is just getting better and better and quieter and
yeah, that's what I was going to add. That we're all of us are constantly tweaking these systems. They're like Ferraris. You have to tinker with them all the time. So we're always making upgrades. We're always making changes that we feel are better. And of course, the pressings have gotten amazingly better, considering what they were back in the 80s or something.
And
like
the plating,
that. So
the whole
thing has gotten better. So even given that, even if you had the same playback system all these years, you'd hear a difference.
But the people that made these records in the 50s, and you were back then doing it to a certain degree, you had no idea what you were doing, because when you played it back on the systems that were available, then you weren't hearing half of what was on.
Well, and something is good until you hear something better.
That's right.
That's the way it is with this. That's why we keep buying more equipment, keep testing and improving. But yeah, we're always changing things. But of course, we always have to be careful to make sure we are getting better, because sometimes we have a hunch this is going to make it better, and when we compare it to what we had before, it's not as good. So that you have to be careful of that, because it might, on paper and spec-wise, look like it should be better, but it doesn't sound better.
Did that happen with boards during when the changeover from pots to faders and certain?
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Tubes to transistors.
Oh yeah.
And you could hear that when Columbia went from tubes to transistors.
So will
Pretty bad.
Will there ever be a time where we say, okay, we've got everything out of this tape that we can get. This is the best it's ever been.
That's what I was saying earlier. I don't know if we'll ever get 100%. I don't think that's almost impossible, but we're getting closer all the time. I mean, even now, the wire, all the audiophile community knows that wire even makes a difference. We used to think way in the past that, what, wire now? It's not gonna make
We were mocked for that.
Yeah,
but we were right.
But it does, yes, it makes a difference. I give seminars on this stuff, and even especially in the digital domain. When you do an AES line, as a demonstration, I take two 6-foot pieces of AES line, and I show the signal through one and through another one. Everybody hears the difference. So those ones and zeros,
they don't admit it though.
It's all ones and zeros. Look, it might be the same ones and zeros, but think of it this way: there's more to it than that. There's what they call jitter. And when we used to complain about it, they used to turn their backs on us and say, "Oh no, they're ones and zeros. It can't be different." And now all of a sudden later on, they came up with reclocking devices. Mm-hmm. Well, why do we need that? It was so perfect. Oh, well, we have this new thing to sell you. So what we heard was correct, but of course, Sony and people like that were trying to get digital accepted. Would just tell us that we're crazy.
Sorry. On those rare occasions when you're getting a project that's been analog all the way to the chain, do you find that those source tapes are superior to the source tapes that you were getting from the
digital
60s? Or that is, has the recording medium
Well-
analog gotten better, or is it?
Yeah, sometimes, well, except for contemporary records. Because nobody makes recordings like that. And nobody, but yes, some of them can be quite good.
Okay, I think we have to stop because we have to stop. So I want to thank you all for paying attention to this while we